An all-new Boeing aircraft was indeed the talk of the aviation industry prior to COVID-19 and the deadly MAX crashes. Boeing was known to be working on an all-new aircraft, which went by the name NMA, or New Midsize Aircraft, although certain reports also called it the NBA, or the New Boeing Aircraft. Boeing had reportedly reached out to several airlines, especially those based in the United States, which were excited about the prospect of a modern jetliner replacing their aging fleet of the Boeing 757. The Boeing NMA, or the Boeing 797, which seemed to be an internet favorite name for the aircraft, would offer the range of the 757, yet the economics of a modern narrow-body jet. The MAX crashes and the pandemic forced Boeing to rethink its decision for a new aircraft. Boeing is also using all its resources to ensure the 777X does not face further delay, and the Boeing 737 MAX 10 can be certified as soon as possible. We have covered the delays surrounding these aircraft in separate videos, and the link to watch them should be popping on top of your screen now. While Boeing is working on sorting out all these issues, it definitely wants to have an all-new aircraft. Boeing is not happy with rival Airbus's increasing market share, and wishes to give a strong response. However, it is going to take some time. Speaking at the Bernstein Strategic Decisions Conference on June 3, 2022, Boeing Chief Executive Officer Dave Calhoun confirmed that the company wouldn't launch a new jetliner anytime soon. Calhoun said he wasn't willing to bet an expensive new development program on the current generation of turbofan engines, and that there were no leaps in engine technology in sight to propel jetliner sales. Typically, when a new jet enters the market, airline and lease customers expect at least a 15 to 20% improvement in fuel efficiency or per trip operating costs for it to make a good business case to replace their existing jets. The Airbus 320neo program offered a 15% improvement over the older 320 family, as did the 737 MAX family over the older generation of the aircraft. In the case of the MAX and Neo, a significant improvement to fuel efficiency came from the new generation, high bypass engines. Calhoun said, referring to present engine technologies, the incremental performance is narrow enough that you're not going to bet an airplane on that. So what do you bet on? Another way airplane makers improve fuel efficiency of their jets is through the design of the aircraft in itself, and in the construction of the jet to make it as light as possible. We have seen aircraft like the A350, which embraces carbon fiber technology in its wing structures, thereby making it efficient in construction. Boeing CEO is relying on new digital tools to revolutionize how aircraft are designed and built, but states this is still in infancy. Boeing is known to be testing new technology in design and materials on its defense programs, but Calhoun acknowledged these weren't mature yet. The CEO stated it will take at least a couple of years before he was confident that those tools are tested and mature enough to implement on the next airplane. When that happens, then we design the next airplane. We don't do it the other way around, the CEO stated. He added, it takes a lot of learning, the number of tests you can run virtually on the design and performance the airplane, the manufacturability, and service. But we have to develop and mature the tools. So we have them. We've practiced them in several of our defense programs, some of which you see, some of which you don't. By the way, if you are liking this video so far, do consider subscribing to the channel, as it will certainly help us growing our audience even further. Now back to Boeing's new aircraft. Development costs of all new aircraft typically range between $15 and $25 billion. Manufacturers and engine makers work together to come up with an airplane airlines will prefer, with the primary targets centered around size of the aircraft, the range, and operating costs. Increasing fuel costs have made airlines prefer smaller, more efficient jets, as it is easier to fill these aircraft with passengers than, say, a large, quad-engined aircraft like the A380. On the wide-body market, the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 are leveraging on their economical per-trip cost while still offering range to connect city pairs like Perth to London, or New Delhi to Chicago. That leaves the market below to be tapped. This is a segment where route lengths extend to around 8 or 9 hours of flying time, and airlines would prefer a narrow body with capacity of around 200 to 250 seats. The aircraft flying these missions will also be rotated for shorter route lengths, where it should offer efficiency in terms of a quick turnaround time, or performance to take off and land at relatively short airfields. This is precisely the segment Boeing was targeting with their Project NMA prior to COVID-19. This is also the segment where Airbus has positioned its upcoming A321XLR, which is due to fly in early 2024. For low-cost airlines, or existing airlines wanting to expand their route network, having an aircraft in this segment is vital, as it allows them to experiment with new city pairs and gauge the demand before deploying additional capacity. Boeing understands that all too well, but is also smartly playing it out this time instead of rushing with a new product, like it did with the MAX. In the next couple of years, engine manufacturers are expected to come out with advancements which will be superior to what is available in the market today. In 2021, engine maker CFM launched its RISE program. RISE, which stands for Revolutionary Innovation for Sustainable Engines, aims to bring to market an all-new engine with at least a 20% improvement in fuel efficiency. As part of its initial research, CFM says an open fan architecture is what will come close to delivering those gains. This engine design will see improvements in thermal design alongside improved propulsive efficiency, and would be capable of running on sustainable aviation fuels, or SAF, and hydrogen. This would be achieved through an electric generator embedded within the engine, which will enable hybrid electrification. Unlike the turboprop aircraft, which fly at slower speeds, CFM say its open fan engine will be capable of flying at up to Mach 8 with a noise signature that will meet anticipated future regulations. This speed represents the upper end of cruising speed of a narrow-body jet, like the A320 or 737. Additionally, CFM say this engine can be installed under the wings in either a low or high wing configuration, or at the rear of the aircraft. CFM hopes to have these next-generation engines available for use by the mid-2030s. While that is still a decade away, development of an all-new aircraft takes around 7 to 8 years, from when the manufacturer launches the program to the first revenue flight. Keeping that timeline, if Boeing were to announce a new aircraft towards 2025, it would be reasonable to expect its first flight towards the early 2030s. Another company working towards a new generation of engines is Rolls-Royce, which wants to re-enter the narrow-body segment after it exited in 2011. Rolls-Royce is working on its UltraFan family of engines, which the company say can be optimized for narrow and wide-body aircraft, with a 25% improvement in fuel efficiency compared to the Rolls-Royce Trent engines. The engines themselves look like a conventional jet engine with a casing, and rely on a geared design, which is already seen today. If Boeing decides to fast-track the development of its new aircraft, Rolls-Royce could be their first option, as the CFM open fan engine is still a decade away. What do you think Boeing must incorporate in its all-new aircraft, aside from a fuel-efficient engine? Is there something in particular from other aircraft you would like to see on a Boeing jet? Do let us know in the comments below, and if you liked this video, do consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching.